So, welcome everyone. Ooh, lovely to be with you here on Wednesday. So, as this is theoretically the shorter inquiry meditation, we'll still, I love the check ins, just to share any repetitive thoughts you've listened to or heard, or something that you have got running. Just see, you could check in on that, but share too. Um, Especially, it's so interesting to hear if anyone's done the work and just finding something shifted or changed, or just what you're noticing. So beautiful. So no set requirements. Let's just hear what's happening with you in the moment. All right, Teresa, how about if you start?
Hello. So I spent my morning doing a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on the postal lady carrier person.
Excellent.
Because I'm having issues getting my mail. And so, what I really saw was how unsafe I feel, right? That's the bottom line is, man, if I can't if I can't predict, if I can't control, then I just am not safe. So that was very helpful for me to see that. And I basically did it on she lost my mail. She, he, I don't know. I just picked she. But so I couldn't get to, like, the turnarounds were so interesting. Once I did the Judge Your Neighbor and then picked a thought, I settled on she lost my mail.
Mhm.
And so I couldn't get to, like, I mean, it was hard to let go of she lost my mail. She didn't lose my mail. I lost my mail. Like, oh, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
these are great. I just love it. It's sort of the ones that seem like simple facts, like I broke my arm, or whatever. I didn't break my arm. No, I broke my arm. But I love finding we don't know that she's the one who lost it.
Right.
And we don't know if it's one particular person's fault, like you kind of don't know. And is it lost? That's very interesting. Like it might be somewhere. Uh, it's just like only in relationship to this thing, if I know where it is, that means it isn't lost.
Right.
That's not really, we'll have things that are in our lives where we don't know where it is right now, but we don't call it lost. So it's interesting. It's somewhere. It isn't
Yeah.
lost. So I find these little, they're like, and so we're not kind of saying it's not the way I see it, it's just completely, but it might not have the meaning, of course, and it could be okay that whatever's in the mail is not required for you to see today, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Not a matter of life or death. Or like it really isn't, I love how you're finding lack of safety, like it really isn't unsafe for you.
Right.
In there you
Right.
can find examples. Well, I still have air to breathe and, a house and shelter and food and water and clothing and everything, all that's still intact,
Right.
whether the mail arrives or not.
Right.
It's nice to just see it. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
because the mind will look at it very black and white, terrible, terrible. So I like with those, you can begin to find examples in that particular way on those ones that feel like facts. And I lost the mail. I see just my picture in my mind are of this thing being lost and everything that I put on lost. And I'm the one doing that. Like I'm generating all that, what's happening and scaring myself with, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my sense of presence. Whatever mail is too, that's kind of interesting, like communication from the outside world.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I've lost it. I lose what is here in the moment when I'm thinking with fear about pieces of paper in envelopes that aren't here in my room right now.
Right. Right.
So it's kind of nice to just like sit with it that way. Yeah. And then I lost their mail.
Ah.
I lost their mail. Could be same thing, you know, like this mail that's supposed to be coming from all over, wherever your mail comes from, you know, all over the place, converging in this one spot. Well, I lost that. I mean, but just interesting. Don't know yet, but I lost their mail. I'm definitely making up pictures of what's happening
Right.
and saying, you know, yeah. Oh, it's funny. I just had the thought of like, I don't have anything to do with their particular mail, like those people's mail. So it didn't even exist. So it could be the same. It could be the other way around. I don't know. Anyway, interesting. Yeah. I love getting started with the ones that are number one that are like seem to be facts, because sometimes it kind of breaks down the fact. And then as you keep going with interpretation of it, it's kind of falls up, kind of starts crumbling.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I love they found my mail, because that could be happening right now for all we know.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, or somebody found it, you know.
Yeah, somebody did. I'm assuming somebody did.
Yeah, we know it exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I kind of love those questions. You know, if anybody ever has little questions or they're stuck. Perfect. All right. Julia.
Yes, I have two things going on today, and both work related. I had I don't know if it was a fight with a parent, a father, in the morning, and I saw that the thoughts around it today, because I just saw these two thoughts, that I want to be right, and also I want to have revenge. It's like I am very angry with this father, and it's like I really want revenge, or I want him to see that I am right in this situation. And the way that I spoke about it yesterday when I was describing it to other people, it was like I saw that I was really placing I don't know, I saw myself as the victim, and he being very wrong. And it felt good to, you know, react, respond in the moment, but all the storytelling around it during the day, you know, it doesn't settle in a good position. But then I just see the thoughts like now, um, and they are not very kind towards him, actually, in
Sure.
this situation. And it was very innocent, the situation. So it's just funny to see how this revenge, I want to be right, thought is building a story or a plan or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay that it's the wave crashed and then it still has like it's like the I don't know, I think of it as like sound vibrations or waves like that you're still kind of going, oh wow, whoa, you know, I see it. And it might not instantly drop, you know, it's just kind of like noticing all that. It's really sweet. Thank you for sharing it. You know,
Mm.
we could chuckle at ourselves, right? On like, I hope they suffer and see their
Yes, yes.
uh, thank you. All right. So Jess, yes, you can talk, but not video. Let's unmute you and see, or you unmute yourself if you're able to share.
Yes.
Awesome.
Hi.
Okay. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Someone was referencing in something, my recent Marco Polo about taking my body on a cruise.
Yes. So
I've
sweet.
been telling, I've been having this time, such a stressful time, because I have to buy a dress for a wedding, which is my version of hell. You know, having to there's the, you know, the problem with underwear, and there's the whole problem with bulging and sausages. I saw the sausages.
Oh.
Yeah, they're there. Sausages. But I found myself kind of, again, seeing my body like it's separate from me. If I was saying I'm going to take my body on a cruise,
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of going, hey, it's okay, honey. I got you. When that panic started, don't worry. We'll
Oh.
find you a dress. You know, it was more like that. And I'm really finding comfort in that.
So
It's
sweet.
very comforting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been in a feedback course that is really interesting. It's through the Institute, and this idea of negative feedback being so difficult
Uh-huh.
is definitely one. And I wonder if there's some way, I wonder if that suits, you know, as we do a check-in, like if someone says something negative about me, it means so much. Like it means they're right. Whatever they said is correct. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you're needy, or you're so loud, or boy, you eat a lot, or you know, you should lose some weight. Have you considered trying Weight Watchers or some, you know, that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Like it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We will go there today. Yeah. All right. Maggie's here. Hello, Maggie.
Yeah. Hi. Okay, so I shared on Marco Polo about situation with my sister where I felt passively aggressively judged, and so I did the whole judge your neighbor worksheet on that, and then I did some you know, statements afterwards, work through that a bit, and it was really cool because almost within 24 hours of doing that, she texted me about something, and I just invited her over. I don't invite my sister over a lot. I mean, we get together for things, but like I guess I have felt like my house is like my, you know, like my safety zone.
Yeah.
And because you know, she can easily take offense at things that I say, and that's a statement that I could do some work on too, but that's been my experience, that I don't like that. I just don't like, I don't prefer it. So when I invited her over, I was like, wow, I just invited her over. We had a really sweet time. We had a sweet dinner together. So that's something that I really am thrilled with, how that's changing. And I'm sure it can go like this a little bit too, but
Yeah.
but then it brought up these ideas that where I always think it's her. It's her. It's got to be her. It's not me. And I realized how much of it is me. Like me saying, "Oh, it was like as a kid saying it was so nice before when it was just me and my brother before the other siblings were born." And I really think that it's like it is driving some of it's driving my relationship with her in a big way. And so that's something that I want to investigate later today probably. And then this thing that's been coming up for me is not enough time, and that I work too much because they keep giving me too much to do beyond what I've agreed to do, right? So that's something else.
I love that one. Yeah. Just fits in that, you know, when you're doing the simple categorizing of what there's not enough of and what there's too much of in the world, and how much that seems to be yeah. Awesome. Thank you. That's good. All right. And Nanu, hello.
Hello. I had thoughts on dogs, my dogs, how they have it easy. They just have the right amount of food put in their bowls twice a day. And I remember that at one point I wanted to be like that in one room, and somebody would bring me food. I wouldn't have to choose. I wouldn't be tempted. And the idea that that would be so easy. I
Mm,
could just read and watch TV and exercise maybe, but food wouldn't be depend. I wouldn't depend on food, or I would not have to make decisions. But that's the dog story. And then the nightmare story. I remember telling my sister once that if she would wake up one morning and be like me suddenly, because she's really into clothing and being thin and fit, and looking good,
mhm.
it would be a nightmare for her to suddenly wake up and be my weight. And she didn't deny it, so that stays.
Oh, that's
She
really,
just didn't answer. She stayed silent.
yeah.
So that silence was even more than an answer to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Another thought. I told myself that undressing, like when my husband is there, would be much more easier if I had the right weight. It's
Mm,
like undressing the body is something I have to do quickly in a corner, put my nightdress on, and then even when he says, I would love it if you would undress in front of me, but it doesn't seem possible that it's true.
oh, that's a good one. You know, just continuously noticing, like we have been, the body shape and size and our judgment. You know, it can't be that he would like it. Yeah.
It doesn't want me to lose weight. He loves my weight. And still I don't believe him.
So
And
good. Yeah.
and another thought is on the Facebook page, once you asked us to question the stomach. And I remember that my stomach gave a positive answer to feeling full. My stomach said, "Oh, it feels so good to be contained, tight inside the clothing."
Ah,
Um,
good. Yeah.
and that was interesting to get that answer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
noticing that I love eating. I love the putting in the mouth. I love the the jaws movement. I love the feeling when it goes down, and I love the full stomach. I don't like eating just one thing. I just love the full stomach.
Yes.
So that's all my stories for this week, for today.
I love it though. And if there's no thought about that, that's the wrong thing, way to be. I remember talking to somebody else about this too, but I just love the feeling of full. And I just
Yeah.
have the thought of like, you know, the way they say some people naturally will be whatever natural is, right? Can we know? But like waiting, like sort of waiting and then filling up farther because it just is so much more pleasant, maybe more meal, you know, full. And then some people like to kind of eat little bits and pieces and graze eat and eat more often or something like that, you know. That's an interesting to like have it,
Mm.
if it was okay to be exactly as you are, nothing wrong with it, you know, with that full feeling. Maybe that's your 7.
Yes, and that's why this plan now, which is to not eat for 16 hours a day,
Wow.
um, it feels good. I'm not worrying. I'm not thinking about food for so many hours of the day. And then when it's time to eat, I can eat as much as I want without feeling guilty. So that fits me. For the moment, it's peaceful that way.
Yeah, yeah. Wonderful, I think, experiment and just being with it. Yeah, love that. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I talked a lot.
Beautiful to hear. I think it's helpful. It's like just watching everybody sharing your little observations, you know, and watching our interpretation, of course. So, well, I'm thinking, you know, this judgment coming towards me, many of you have mentioned this. You know, and they're judging me incorrectly, or they shouldn't be judging me in that negative way. They shouldn't be doing that. I think that one's a good, whether it's for the way I look or whatever, how I'm eating. Yeah, the person in the shop who's selling the dress. I mean, just anything, right? But Julia definitely had this with the person at school. So they're judging me. They've got it wrong. You know, they're judging me incorrectly. Okay. So let's just see. And you can word it, you know, if it's however it is. I'm just making it sort of a simple. So that's how I say it. They're judging me incorrectly. It's not correct. They got it wrong. And I can find it. All right. So find your situation. You might have several. I may notice when I open up my mind, I can see different people. But helpful to pick one as your anchor. They're judging me incorrectly. And return to that. It's helpful. Narrows it down. So in your situation that you're finding, is that true that they're judging you incorrectly? They've got it wrong. So if you notice a yes coming there, see if you absolutely know that that's true. So what happens when you think this thought? They're judging me wrong. They don't have it correct. They're thinking of me that way. I don't like it. What happens when you believe that thought? And if you want to share, you can. You just might notice defense, sadness.
For me, it brings up a lot of separation because it's like I immediately go into this war zone, like finding alliance and wanting to prove something, and maybe like an authority or somebody who could settle this thing and give a correct answer, like it's like this way, but it creates a lot of separation.
Ah,
Us and them, we and you, something like that.
I love that, wanting to enlist other people's opinion or get some help here or show other people, you know, that's a great thing to notice. You can find that too. Yeah.
I feel like I want to avoid this situation. I want to avoid her. Um, and there's been sadness because over the years I've felt like, well, I'm just one of those people, like I can't have a good relationship with her, with my sister.
Mm,
Um, so that's sad to me.
yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm seeing that it doesn't need to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be the first time I've thought of it that way, that it doesn't need to be true forever.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's powerful. Just watch the images. Like I've got proof, just
Yeah.
quick, all of that there. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So they've got it wrong. They're judging me incorrectly. They should see me differently. And just see where your mind travels with the thought into the future. Like what's going to happen next? It's interesting. Where's this going if they don't have it right? So we might have pictures of the past, but also the future. I just notice sometimes there's that impulse to, like, I'm just going to cut them out completely or quit this relationship. They can't get it right. I'm out of here.
I noticed in my situation that I I feel like I have felt like I can't be myself with her, because when I am, I feel misunderstood, um, with simple things, not like, uh, hiding who I really am, hiding the truth of me,
Mm, mm,
because, yeah,
hmm.
So when you brought up the future, I picked somebody that I am in a group with,
Hmm.
that I lead, and what I realized was I won't cut out, but I will shut down. Like I will build emotional walls. So I will physically be present,
Hmm.
but emotionally and um, even like I will not go there, right? Like I won't let you in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a great one to notice. I don't want to flare things up by doing anything. I just behave carefully, walk on eggshells, wait until it's over or get away from them totally. And Nanu sharing, my husband has got it wrong when he's paying me compliments. He's going to really see me one day and expecting him to do so in the future. Yeah. Yeah.
I see how future situation with this man, it's like we can never be peaceful together. It's like this quarrel will follow us. So when I meet him next time, it's like it has to continue, or we cannot just be friends, or um,
Yeah.
drop it. It's something like holding on to this relationship is now like this.
So good. Yeah. Just had the picture of, like, you run into somebody and you're like, you in your head. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, they got it wrong. They judged me incorrectly. You might notice ways like notice the mind traveling to trying to see if there's different things I might do, say, communicate, any, to make it so they have a discovery, they get a light bulb going off that says, "Oh, I had it wrong," like very funny, you know, even if somebody else tells them. Okay. And just feeling the energy, what it's like between you and this person when you think they've got it wrong, they're judging me incorrectly, they don't have the whole story. And that is really interesting. Like Nanu's and Jess said this too. Just noticing if the story is complementary. Very interesting. You don't agree with it somehow. Just noticing the energy between you and them with the thought. Okay. So, who would you be without it if you were not able to think this thought? Same person. If you weren't able to think they don't have it right, they've got it wrong, they're judging me incorrectly, whether it's favorable or not. That's interesting. What if you just weren't able to think that thought? And you don't even have to really know where it's going. It's just like not having it for a moment, just letting it drop for a moment. Without that belief, they've got it wrong, it's an incorrect judgment.
Feel like I can begin to see who she is
Mm,
and feel some deep compassion.
mm, mhm. Mm. Yeah, I find it fascinating to look at that other person. It's almost like I want, like, tell me more. How did you come up with, like, tell me what you're seeing more, whether it's positive or negative, like, huh, interesting.
It's so
No, sorry.
You go ahead, Julia.
Okay. I saw that if he didn't judge me incorrectly, then I judged him incorrectly. So I find peace with like none of us judge anything incorrectly.
Mhm.
And in that, then there came like the peace and actually also some kind of empowerment that what was felt in the moment was expressed, and so there is some kind of uh, courage or bravery in that, and not with the story after or before. It's like, okay, that felt alive also, and
Mhm.
for both of our parts, I feel.
Hmm. That's fun. That's great. Ooh, it's like, oh, interesting.
Yes, yes,
Little excitement in the edge of town.
yeah.
Oh, what were you going to share, Teresa?
So I was just thinking, if I couldn't have that thought, then his thought is just a thought. And his thought is just it's not a reflection of me or necessarily of him. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's just a thought. And if it's just a thought, then I mean,
Mm.
it's just so simple.
Mm.
It's just a thought.
Yeah. It's nice, right? Sounds so, oh, dangerous. It's not dangerous. And Nanu, I notice I'm allowed to enjoy the moment. I get the freedom to play along with his story. It's all lighter and playful. Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's like, oh, I like that story. That's a good one. Yeah. Hmm. How fun to imagine everybody thinking whatever they think, like the just a thought, like Teresa just mentioned, you know, it's a thought. And they're all doing that, busy, and it's all okay. Like it's just safe that they're doing it. It's all fine. That's pretty fun. Everyone I've ever met having a thought, and everyone I ever will meet today having a thought. Yeah. And it's okay. There's just something about the safety of that that makes it sort of like Julia mentioning, you know, like it's got this, how fascinating, what an interesting thing we're all doing here. So let's find a turnaround. All right. So they're judging me incorrectly. I guess in the simple, in the moment, going to the I'm judging myself incorrectly. I've got it wrong. Could be just as true. And that can be fun to see the specific ways I am doing that. You know, like what do I get? Maybe any feeling that's off right there, you know?
I'm having one of those worksheets where the most obvious turnaround was nowhere near anything I could see. This one, as you say, it was like, oh, I'm doing that, that obvious, I should know that, but like this, even doing number 4, I
Mhm.
was like, it's really hard to get rid of. For me, it was, she treated me unfairly, or
Uh,
she judged me unfairly. The word unfair, like, it's really getting stuck in that whole,
yeah.
but she should, but, so I treated me unfairly. Oh. I
Yeah.
treated me unfairly when I was convinced that there was something bad about what she was saying, when I was less than because of what she was saying.
Yeah.
And I treated her unfairly. Uh, yes, I know we're not necessarily going all the way through, but yeah, just occurred to me as you were saying that.
It's very sweet. It's like this unfair energy. I like seeing how the judgment, it's beautiful to be specific. Like unfair judgment, you know, unfair, me down here, her up here. Am I doing it? I see myself right down here. Because what I like about that is it's like if it then it was a living turnaround if I began to treat myself fairly. Like if I had my own fair advocate or, you know, somebody helping me be fair. Not that
Yeah.
that's the end all, but you know, just like a equality, equals.
Yeah. I'm setting up this dynamic of higher and lower.
Yeah, yeah.
She's just told me I'm talking too loud.
Oh,
And I've created an entire social structure out of that one shushing.
wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. So good. Yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of makes me think of this one. I love this story, and this is so good for a little eating piece. Byron Katie, you'll maybe recognize it because it's somewhere. It's around in there, but she has her favorite dessert or some delicious thing that she likes. She said it was a dessert, and it's in a little box in the refrigerator. And she comes back to get it, and it's gone. Like, and it turns out Stephen, her husband, ate it. And she's like, "Oh, how do I know it was for Stephen, not for me?" Because that's who it was for. And I love the next final part, which is very important. She goes and talks to him and says, "Next time you see that, if there's only one, please ask me first." It's not about like just going, "Oh, I guess that's who it was for." And I never, I don't know. And I love that story. And it's about eating, it's like about a food thing. I don't know. So that's probably why it went in my head, but it's kind of like being your own dancer in the dance. So I judged myself incorrectly. Anyone else find a good one for that, an example?
Maybe it's not answering that question. When you shared that story last time about what Katie said, I suddenly realized that my husband, when he's judging someone, when he wants to say bad things about someone, he says, "Oh, that fat thing, that fat cow." And so after you said that, I went to him and said, "How do I know that when you're paying me a compliment, it is true?" Because it is confusing what you are saying when you're judging someone, when you're angry at someone. You
Ah,
use the word fat.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so thank you.
Isn't that wonderful? Yes. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You have a question and you could go ask them. Wondering what are you seeing when you say that, and here's my experience. Yeah, so good.
I'm getting a little stuck with this. I judge myself incorrectly. I
Uh,
can't do
yes,
it.
in that moment, right. Whatever I think he's doing, I'm doing it. So the same, how did you think he was judging you? That was
Okay, so is it like I judged him incorrectly in the moment, or I judged myself incorrectly?
I judged myself.
I don't understand it.
How did you think, like, what's the quality of judgment that he had towards you? What was he thinking about you?
Yeah, he thought I was like being very, how you say, strict and not reasonable towards his needs or his son's need.
Mhm.
Um, and
So
yeah,
did you think have you thought that you're too strict and unreasonable?
I was doubting that. I was doubting that when he placed it, and this is why I needed to share with somebody, because I was doubting, okay, was I wrong in this? It was something about time and breakfast,
Mm,
and so I needed to just clarify, because when I acted, it felt so true to me that it was like that. And then after, when he came with the accusation, I got in doubt.
uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, potentially, you know, there's that seed of like, oh, this was brought to my attention, and so it's part of my reality. So it's okay to feel. But if we're not looking at right or wrong, I like noticing. I have where I find that maybe is not necessarily right in the middle of that incident, but thinking of myself as unreasonable, you know, or treating myself unreasonably or with too much strictness. And that I'm able or I'm capable of doing that to myself. somebody
Yeah,
else and somebody else has done it. It's not
okay.
unfamiliar.
Yeah, okay, now I understand.
Yeah, yeah. So let's find that. So here, so in other words, then we're the same. You know, that person's kind of the same as we are. There's a similarity. Um, let's do the other one. I'm judging that person in that way. I'm judging them incorrectly. How could that be true?
I see that it's true because I brought in like several past experience that I didn't even witness, but I just heard. So I brought like proof in that I built upon my reaction towards him. So it was nothing to do with that, how you say, current situation that happened.
Ah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes just simply the thing of this person saying something unfavorable that we don't like and we feel scared. I'm judging them incorrectly. It's like they're so frightening. And it really is like just to think about that, Teresa was saying safety. I just don't feel safe, you know, noticing in that moment they aren't it's not like a threat like the way we feel it, like this is really threatening, you know, it's a matter of life or death. I mean, it's really funny how that'll be so strong. Feels like that. It feels very dangerous. And then if you're thinking about them complimenting like that, I'm seeing them incorrectly, like they can't have it right. Their opinion isn't accurate. Yeah, I just love noticing I landed also on a sister who was upset for a while, not speaking to me or anyone in the family. And like, you know, she's judging me incorrectly. She should at least come talk to me. And can find so easily how I've done that to myself. I cut myself off, said, you're out with my own feelings and this kind of thing. But also how I've done that to her. Sort of in doing the work, I then reached out to her and it was very beautiful and changed things and in this past year. So they did not judge me incorrectly. They were right about something in the moment. This is not, it's just to feel compassionate with it. Or they have their glasses on. Who's the one saying this judgment, you know? Given who they are and what they've experienced, is it just right that they have that perspective? And how is it okay that I heard it in the moment I heard it? Like, how is that supporting me instead of like, no, it's terrible? just fun to hold that, whatever they're saying with like that, like a openness to hearing it at that moment. And it doesn't mean if they're saying, you know, you horrible, terrible person, the permanence that we hold that with, but it's just like in that moment, letting it be the way it was, that there they are saying it like that, noticing a scared person, and it's okay that I heard it, you know, or experienced it. There might be something really interesting or helpful about being aware of that. Or if they said, "You wonderful, gorgeous person," that too. How do I know I'm supposed to hear it? I heard it. Like, wouldn't one of your greatest wishes be to be able to work with conflict and feel it as a opportunity and have that and be able to do something? Isn't that what we want? You know, like to feel the love around that. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to change. You are speaking so loudly. That is so true. I love my voice, but without defense, you know. Anyone want to share anything? It's very sweet to be with today.
I couldn't find where I was speaking loudly.
Mm.
So if I can't find it, and I think she's wrong.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering about finding that safe place to land
Mm-hmm.
when I think she's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
yeah. Yeah. So loud wouldn't describe what do you think's going on over there? I mean, it just, if you're looking at her and somebody's saying blah, 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 you know,
Yeah.
something's happening over there. You might not know what it is, but some sort of something.
She
Like
seems grouchy.
Grouchy.
Like something's put her off.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And just that alone, it's like unhappy, grouchy, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you're the one that's safe enough
Touchy.
to do something too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting, you know,
That's
I'm the
true.
one that got in the way, or I'm the one that was there, you know, that I remember having a really good friend and doing a lot of work on her quite a long time ago. And who just no longer was speaking to me, like didn't answer my calls, and I didn't even know. I was like reaching out to her, hi, I haven't talked to you in a long time. And so I'll never know exactly. But then when I started reviewing and looking at everything, I could see where stuff probably happened, and I understood. And I also remembered that she had a really close friend who she cut off and never spoke to again. You know, like
Right.
she shared with, like, so that was how she was. Like, she's a person who's scared when it got to a certain level, you know, and there was things that were scary for her. The only way she knew was to go like, goodbye, you're out of my life. So it's kind of like, it's not personal, you know, it's there she is, pretty unhappy or unable to go there. And
And as you say that, I can really find where I cut people off too, where I'm like, you know, even if I love them, even if I want to see them again,
yes,
even if the last thing I want to do is punish or cut them off, I
Yeah.
see where I do that.
Yeah. So like this thing could be just saying loud, you know, even if it's not loud, you are actually not being loud. Or if we had a movie of it and the decibel level, everybody would be like, yeah, that wasn't loud.
I'd like that. I'd like everyone to see that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right. It's kind of cool. It's like you still can see, okay, And how interesting that somebody would say that, you know, like just finding the little pieces of it. And how is that for me? What would that be for me? And it's totally fine to go like, yeah, I know that wasn't loud. So, but something was too big for, she thought in the moment or whatever would make somebody say that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It opens up a lot of compassion, and there's no should about how we're supposed to, like, it's not passive how we respond. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. Anyone want to say anything more? Love it. What a nice inquiry.
I got to a place where I could see her and her believing this, and I can see me and me believing what I believe, and just existing together with believing something different, and just really feeling compassion for me and compassion for her is really sweet. It really is.
Yeah. So kind, you know. Every interaction like this, I think of as like, oh yeah, it's another chance for unconditional love or unconditional positive regard for what's happening, and but really finding it, you know, how great. It's kind of amazing people like connect, right? With all the different stories, and amazing that we all get along so well.
Yeah, I had this vision of a map, kind of, and she's on over here on her map, and I'm over here on my map, but we're in this relationship together, but we're in different places. You know?
I'm like,
it's so funny.
That is great. I love that. That just suddenly I had this like, yeah, you're over the mountain. You're like, come in, radio. Like over here, what I see is bark swamp, and you know. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, lots of love. Enjoy yourself. See you again soon.
Bye.
Bye, my dears.